other cells around doing very similar things. So this process starts up as soon as we add those dying neutrophils to that mixture. They're amazing. I think I sat there for about 4 hours looking at it. I don't know how many cells they can eat, but it looks like an awful lot. And so inside that, they're recycling all of that material that they're taking up. And this is what's happening in your bodies pretty much on a daily basis. So we wonder what happens if you have a vitamin C deficient neutrophil. So if the cells don't have vitamin C, how does this affect that cell death process? And so these are vitamin C deficient cells, and they're at the same age as those first ones you saw that are all that bubble and boil, so to speak. And so what you see here, if you watch this one here, these cells don't do that. There's an awful lot of activity inside that cell, but there's no blebbing or bubbling, and in fact they pop. So, and at the end of our time, so you watch this one here, it's kind of halfway through this process, they start, instead of shrinking up, they start to swell up, and then they form, you get these kind of balloon cells. And at the end of the process, we've got a whole lot of these cells that look dead. But, so what happens to them if you put them with the macrophages? What would happen to them? And so here we have another lot of macrophages, and these are, so here we are up close. And so if you concentrate in this area here, there's two candidates that look very similar to our previous one. And you'll see that I've added those dying vitamin C deficient neutrophils to these, and you can see that these cells, they're definitely alive, they're sitting there, but there's no activity with respect to recognising those dead and dying vitamin C deficient neutrophils. So these cells are blind to that signal. And what that means for people is that we need good vitamin C when we're sick. We need good vitamin C for our immune cells in order for that cleanup to happen in a controlled way. And as we were thinking about this, and here's a summary of this part of the talk, we were thinking, so vitamin C is required for effective neutrophil removal and cleanup. And actually, what would happen if this went wrong? And so we thought, do we have any clinical evidence that would be devastating? Because someone asked me a question in one of our research groups once, and they said, what would happen? And I said, you would dissolve from the inside. And then we thought, what happens to people with scurvy? And actually, you know, here's an example of someone with scurvy. Your tissues break down from the inside. So, you know, we think it's very possible that one of the major contributors to this kind of damage is the fact that your neutrophils are bursting and releasing those enzymes into your tissues in a way that's actually devastating. And as a result of that, you know, people with scurvy die sudden and horrible deaths.